and keep them relaxed in your lap while you sit cross-legged, and gently close your eyes. Still yourself completely. Withdraw all the attention from the outside world and just focus on yourself. Focus your attention on your body now. See if the body is completely relaxed. If you see there is any stiffness which is being held anywhere in the body, then just relax that part. Deliberately relax that tension there. Loosen out your whole body. Just scan each part of the body. And feel your body in total relaxation. And now bring your attention to your natural breathing and observe your breaths. Just silently observe your breathing. When you attach your attention to the breath, then it stills the mind, because the breath and the mind are intimately connected. So just observe, be a witness to your breathing process. आती हुई सांस और जाती हुई सांस को केवल देखें. And as you just keep observing your breath and continue this process, then you will gradually shift into deeper meditation. So meditation is never done, it just happens. The processes or the techniques that we use, they are just to facilitate to go into that state of meditation. So meditation can never be achieved or done. It is just like sleep. You cannot do sleep. Sleep only happens. You can just facilitate it. You can help sleep to happen through different techniques. So similarly, you just Adopt the techniques in which watching the breath is a very powerful technique. It is so simple and easy, yet it's so powerful and effective. So simply keeping observing your breath, and you will shift into deep meditation states. This is what is to be done, how easy it is. And now you can just be in the state of meditation, be with your breath, stay connected with your breathing, and you can just passively listen to this discussion about the the law of balance, which we just learned in the last session, and we'll continue the part 2 of this session today. So this law of balance is one of the laws of the creation, and which says that there is a tendency in the nature, there's a tendency in creation to maintain balance, to maintain equilibrium, to establish harmony in a system. And it happens everywhere, it is evident everywhere, this balance, the tendency for the nature to establish balance. It happens in the world, in the environment, in our body, inside our body, and also in the mind, and in all events and happenings of this universe. And this balance is maintained by a self regulatory system. Whenever there is a tilt towards any of the extremes, then it triggers a change or a shift in order to maintain a balance, a harmony in the whole creation. And if anything, if anything that is not in sync with this law, then it then that is not in sync with the whole nature. It is out of sync with creation. So anything which resists the balance is out of sync. Like, for example, we discussed a lot of examples in the last session where there is a balance everywhere in the nature, in the environment, in the plant kingdom, in the animal kingdom, in societies, in civilizations, in the mind also. Like, for example, day and night. Day and night is the rhythm of nature. There is a balance between day and night. And plants and animals, they are always in harmony with this rhythm of day and night. But it is only we humans that we go against this circadian rhythm. And because of that, we experience suffering. We experience suffering in form of negative effects on the body and the mind. So going against this balance leads to some issue, some problem, which is seen in form of suffering. So everywhere we see this law of balance, but what is practical for us as humans is that the most problematic areas where we we experience the resistance to this law are in the mind, in the area of the mind. This is the mind is the most problematic area where the dualities appearing in the mind cause troubles, cause suffering. It is because all these things which are going in the mind, they are not easily detected. We are not able to identify them. And the activity of the mind is very complex. So most problems of imbalance we experience in the mind only. Otherwise, the imbalance in outside environment, nature, even in our body, that is very evident and it always runs in balance. But it is the mind, it is the imbalances in the mind which leads to problems. Like for example, there is a there are the two extremes of dualities of for example, grief and calmness, or grief and peace. So when there is some reason for grief, then it is natural that there will be grief. I will experience some grief when there is some loss or something. But when I'm stuck with that grief, when even after that event is gone and I'm still stuck, I'm still holding on to this grief for years, and I'm not able to let that emotion go, then this is imbalance. Because we learned that the nature always shifts from one pole to the other. So when at one pole there is this emotion of grief, and at the opposite pole is calm. So when I'm stuck, when I'm not leaving this pole of grief, when I'm stuck with this extremity of grief, that means I am creating an imbalance in nature. I'm going against the balance. So I will suffer. I will keep on suffering if I hold on to this grief, if I will not let it go. So when I understand that it is the law which always has a tendency to shift to the other pole, then I have to let go the grief. I have to understand this law. I have to honor this law and let go the grief and invite calmness and peace and just move on. In fact, I have to just leave the grief and move on. And the shift towards calmness will come automatically because the this law acts like a pendulum. It will swing to the opposite side. Only my resistance, it prevents this swing because I'm stuck with that. I don't want to let that grief go. And it is, so common. In fact, it happens very often that people feel guilty if they let go of grief. And this is such a common pattern. Like, for example, even after uh, losing something or someone, you the mind just want to be stuck with that grief. Like, how can I be happy? How can I be happy with this loss? How can I move on with this loss? So the mind, even though there is a reason to move on, but this guilt that, oh my God, how can I be happy? I have lost something big. How can I be just okay and move on? So this is how guilt also arises, and it is such a common pattern and it prevents moving on. So this is how the mind resists this law of balance. Or in another example, when suppose I hold on to anger, I'm someone just triggered me and anger arose, and now I want to hold on to anger. I don't want to let go. I just keep on remembering that this person has hurted me, and I keep suffering. And the opposite pole of the anger is forgiveness, and I resist forgiveness. I don't want to forgive. I keep on holding to anger. I keep on tightly holding, and the more tightly I hold, the more I will suffer. I will experience this suffering, and we all have experienced this sometime or the other. When we keep on holding on to anger, this memory keeps on coming back, and every time it keeps coming back, we experience the same emotion, we experience the same suffering when the anger was fresh. So when I'm holding on to this anger, I'm resisting the harmony that the nature wants to bring. And what is the harmony here? The harmony here is to aligning with forgiveness. So this is what is the resistance. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the opposite pole, like forgiveness, is good. Even too much of one pole is out of balance. It may seem that this quality of forgiveness is very good, so I should be stuck with it. No, that is also out of balance. How? Because if I am too forgiving all the time, then it will also cause suffering. So this is here we see how this law works. Even though this quality of forgiveness looks so great, but it is not absolute. If I am stuck, if I'm always forgiving, then also it will cause suffering. Because if people walk over you, they abuse you, they treat you like a doormat, and you still keep on forgiving, or you are very tolerant, then this is also out of balance. So again, the shift has to be when there will be too much of forgiveness or too much of tolerance, then it is out of balance. So here, then the shift has to go towards the other pole. Then here, assertion and anger is required. Some amount of assertion or some amount of anger is required to express yourself. And this is the balance, and this creates a balance. And it is not that only anger can give suffering. Too much of forgiving attitude can also be the cause of suffering. So anything out of balance leads to suffering. It is resisting against the law of balance. So whenever it is necessary, then assertiveness or anger has to be expressed. And anger is not bad. Neither of the poles or the polarities are bad. They are neither good nor bad, because they have to be expressed whenever it is necessary. And this is what is we call as the wisdom. That is the where comes the role of buddhi or vivek, which is called as discrimination, rationalization. So here comes the role ki what is needed in this moment. So anger is not bad. In fact, none of the poles are bad. It is just about the context. Like last time we had discussed this in the law of polarity, that none of the poles is absolute. They are not true. They keep on changing in different contexts. And this is exactly what is the law of relativity, which we'll discuss in the further laws. So nothing is in this creation is absolute. It is always in relation to each other. So anger is not bad, and neither is forgiveness good. So everything has to be balanced. This is how it is. This is how is the law of balance. So when I know this law, then what happens that I will be able to accept whenever there is a swing to any of these dualities. And If I resist, then I'll suffer, because this law will never change. This law will always be valid, it will always apply. So, this is exactly what is the understanding of this law. The understanding of this law of balance, it brings acceptance. And it is a great achievement. This is a great state to be in, the state of acceptance. Svikarya bhav. It is it is accepting because the law is supreme, because I understand that the law is above everything. And generally the mind thinks that I am above everything, but no, the law is above everything. The creation, the laws of the creation rule everything in the creation. And it it reveals to me that I am such a tiny part of this creation. And when I understand that how ordinary I am, how ordinary part of this extraordinary creation I am, then it also brings humility, that I am not above the law. The law rules over me. So I have, so I can do nothing but accept it. And it also brings humility. I humbly surrender to this creative force. I humbly surrender to this law. I will accept and surrender to this creation, and I will do this with love and not with like complain or grudge or blame. Like, why did this happen to me? Why only me? Condemning myself or blaming myself or other people or circumstances. So I surrender this with love, because I understand that I am a small part of this creation. And so the law is applicable to me. I cannot be above the law. So this understanding should come. This understanding comes. And now when you surrender, then then there is a magic which happens. And what magic happens, that the nature rewards you with peace, with joy, with happiness, satisfaction, gratitude, fulfillment in life. And when you see, this is all what we always want, this is what every human always desires in life. What every human desires: peace, joyfulness, happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment. So, this is how, when you surrender, when you accept the laws of the creation, you do not resist the laws, because the laws are supreme. And when you don't resist it, then you get what you always deserved. You get the peace, you get joy, happiness, everything which you always desired and you were running after in life. So this is how the magic happens. And this creation, as we call, in the Sankhya Darshan, it is called as Prakriti. The source is called the Purush and the creation is called the Prakriti. Or in the Shaivism, they call as Shiva and Shakti. So the Shakti is Devi. That means she is the creator. She is who creates all this. And we say that the whole universe or the whole creation is out of the womb of the Devi, out of the Shakti. So that is why we call her mother, because everything in this universe takes birth from her womb. Womb is the symbolic of something where creation happens, some new thing is created. And the source of that creation is called mother or the womb. So that is why we call the Devi as mother. And we know that every mother has some laws, every mother, our own mother. And we as mothers, we always enforce some rules in the house. Why do we do that? Is it that the mother is harsh, or the mother is bad, or she doesn't love her children? No, it is not like that. The mother creates rules, wants to enforce laws to keep balance in the family, to maintain everything in harmony so that everything is kept in check, to prevent chaos in the family. So every mother has some rules for her children, for her family, and she does it with love. She does it out of her love. And whenever a naughty child breaks this law, there are naughty children. They want to resist the law. They don't want to follow the law of the mother. They want to break the law. So what she does? She will give a word of caution. She will give warning. She may give a soft punishment if the naughty child doesn't listen, doesn't follow. So this is what happens when we resist the laws of the creation, when we resist the rules the mother has created to run this creation in harmony, then she will warn us by the experience of suffering. So the suffering comes not as a punishment. It is love. It is love of the mother, so that you catch up with the law. You understand what is the importance of harmony, so that you are not the source of chaos in the creation, in the family. So this is the love. This is the love of the creation and not punishment. So this is up to my own understanding and my own wisdom, whether I accept the laws, I surrender to the laws with love or with resentment. Because when I don't understand that these laws are for my own good only, when I'm ignorant of this knowledge, then I will resent that something bad is happening to me. But then when you get the knowledge of these laws, then you can understand, then you can feel the love. It is the love of creation. There is no punishment there. So if I accept it with love, then the mother will reward me. The mother will reward those children who follow her rules, who follow her laws. So this is how the Devi does lovingly for all the children, all the creation. So always try to be the loving and favorite child of the mother. Be the most law-abiding child of the mother and the creation. Don't resist her creation because she is supreme. And when you are in alignment with her laws, when you follow her rules and laws, then she will love you. She will shower you with all the rewards you want. So be the favorite child of the mother. And you know, when you are the favorite child, the mother will favor you. So always aim for the favor, always aim for the favor of the Prakriti, and understand why she has created these laws and honor these laws. Don't resist them. And whenever you honor these laws, then you can see, you can experience that unconditional love and grace that you will receive. And actually this grace was always there. You know, the mother never is never conditional in giving love and favor for the child. The she always is continuously giving unconditional love, but it is only the child who is able to receive it or not. It is up to the child. The love is always there, but if I am resisting that love, then it is my own fault. Then I will not receive it. So, this is how it works in this universe. So, when you can understand these laws and abide by these laws of the universe, then you can literally hack this creation. You can become above the law because the laws won't affect you. You cannot be fearful because nothing can harm you. You will be a law abiding child. So I hope this knowledge of the law of balance, it made sense to you. It gave you some understanding and some wisdom to implement in life, implement in our daily interactions, in our own daily thinking, and then we can experience all that joy and peace which we always want to stay. So how easy it is. This is it, how easy. And without the understanding, without this simple understanding, people keep suffering. So yeah, it's already time. So just be silent for a minute and just let this knowledge be absorbed by you, by the intellect, and let it give food for more contemplation. Because the more you contemplate on this, the deeper the understanding becomes. And deeper the understanding, the more natural it is to implement in life. Then using this wisdom will not be effortful. It will just be a part of you. It will become your nature and habit. So keep contemplating on this knowledge whenever you get time. Just sit silently with your eyes closed and think about it. The contemplative meditation is the highest kind of meditation. Manan. Manan is the most effective method to develop your higher intellect. So if you want to continue this meditation, then you may continue sitting with eyes closed. And if you wish to come out of this meditation, then gradually open your hands, move your fingers, become aware of your surroundings, and slowly open your eyes. So, is there anything anyone wants to share or ask? Okay, then we conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for joining.